yourself. Okay. So I'm going to now introduce Landon Lacey. She is our presenter tonight. And Landon, if you could take a minute to tell us a little bit more about yourself, or if that's built in your presentation, that's great. But thank you so much for being here tonight and presenting your information about MED-EL to us.
Hi, yeah, thank you for having me. Thanks for the introduction. My name is Landon Lacey, and I am a speech pathologist by trade. I worked in early intervention in Chicago for several years before joining up with MED-EL. So I do have experience in the field, and I'm really excited about some of our updates. I'm going to go over what's new at MED-EL by doing a little walkthrough of our website to show you where to find some of our new technology updates. And we'll also go over some of our bridge materials, and those are our rehabilitation materials that can be used by both parents and therapists. All right, so I'd like to briefly go over the 2 implant solutions that MED-EL offers to the pediatric population. So you can find this information on our website at www.medel.com, medel.com, and then by clicking Implant Solutions in the toolbar. It's the second option on the top of the toolbar. So the system that we're going to be focusing on is the SYNCHRONY Cochlear Implant System. It's our newest system, which you will find on the far left if you're following along. We're going to disregard the SYNCHRONY EAS system, which is electric acoustic stimulation, which is a hybrid device with a hearing aid and a cochlear implant. And we're also going to disregard the Vibrant Sound Bridge middle ear implant for this discussion because they're not approved for children. So we're just going to focus on our SYNCHRONY Cochlear Implant System. All right, so after you click SYNCHRONY Cochlear Implant System on the website, if you go back and follow along, you'll come to a page featuring the SONNET behind-the-ear audio processor and the Rondo single-unit audio processor. So just as a quick review, the SONNET is a water-resistant, tamper-proof, lightweight audio processor, and it can provide up to 60 hours of battery life. This is the longest in the industry. And the Rondo is the world's first single-unit audio processor, which means it doesn't have any cables and it's worn totally off the ear. It's a really great option for children who do not or cannot tolerate a processor worn on the ear. This could be kids with sensory needs, microtia, glasses. They've all benefited from this kind of a device. So I'm sure you've seen these units before, so I'm going to focus on some of the features that we provide to accompany these devices. And it looks like maybe some of my transitions aren't showing up, so if the slides look a little funny, I'm sorry. All right, so let's start with the SONNET. This is the behind-the-ear device. So at the bottom of the image, if you follow along on our website, you'll see a button called More About SONNET, which will take you to the next page that we want to look at. So this is where you'll go to really get all the details on the SONNET device. So after clicking on More About SONNET, you're going to have a toolbar at the top of the screen, and you can see by my arrows where you would click. You could click Battery Life to see our battery options for the SONNET. And we're going to go over our exciting new launch of the rechargeable batteries for the SONNET that were just released this past September. I know a lot of people have waited for these, so I'm excited about them. So our new rechargeable batteries for the SONNET have allowed us to have the world's lightest audio processor on the market, which makes it a really great option for tiny ears. I know when I worked in early intervention, it was so hard to keep the devices on, and when you've got those soft little ears, it can really cause them to fall off over and over. So this battery makes it a great option for tiny ears. And we are very proud that the rechargeable battery pack is environmentally friendly. It's a good battery option, and the rechargeable batteries also save families a lot of money. You can use them over and over and over and not have to recycle and throw away batteries. So it's a really great option for a lot of reasons. So I'm just going to go over how this works real quick. The SONNET rechargeable battery kit contains the rechargeable battery adapter, which you can see there is that middle piece, and it contains the rechargeable battery, and that comes in two sizes, either the micro or the standard size, and you can see them both on the bottom. The adapter fits onto the bottom of the SONNET control unit in place of the regular battery frame, and the rechargeable battery then fits into the adapter. So really what you need is that adapter in the middle, and then you plug them in. So it's a super easy system to use. The SONNET charging unit has 4 charging slots with separate charging circuits, and you can use any of the charging slots to charge one of the rechargeable batteries, and you can charge up to 4 batteries simultaneously. The SONNET charging unit can be connected to a computer with a USB cable or to a wall outlet. So I think it makes it very portable. The standard rechargeable battery for the SONNET provides up to 10 hours of battery life, and the micro rechargeable battery offers up to 7 hours of battery life. Each rechargeable battery kit has a very similar cumulative battery life. For example, if a patient receives 2 standard and 2 micro batteries, they will receive a cumulative total battery life of 34 hours. They'll get 30 hours with 3 standard rechargeable batteries and 28 hours with the 4 micros. So it's very similar across the options that you would choose. The SONNET rechargeable batteries also come with a battery wallet that you see on the left. So you can easily change out batteries if one dies. I really like this. It's very well manufactured, and I know a lot of parents carry these around. They go to the zoo and a battery dies, you pull out your battery wallet and replace it with ease. So you're not getting as many hours compared to our disposable batteries, but it's so easy to change them out on the spot. All right, so these are your options. The SONNET rechargeable batteries are packaged in 3 different combinations. New patients will all receive the rechargeable battery kit, and they have a choice of either 2 micro and 2 standard rechargeable batteries, 3 standard rechargeable batteries, or 4 micros. And all the kits come with a rechargeable battery adapter and a charging unit and a cable with a power supply and the battery wallet and the manual. So you'll get the whole kit if this is if you're one of our new users. The kits also include micro rechargeable batteries that come with a 6-pack of each of the base colors for the SONNET micro battery cover, which is basically that little plastic sheath that goes over the bottom of the device. In order to make it smaller, if you're using the micro option, we have a smaller cover that will go over that battery. So it actually becomes a very small unit, which is also really great for little ears. All right, so we're going to move on from the rechargeable batteries into something else that's really cool. I would like to go over our WaterWear next. If you want to follow me on our website, you can find this at www.metal.com/us/WaterWear. So this past August, Metal launched WaterWear for our behind-the-ear devices, the SONNET, which is the one we've been talking about, and our previous behind-the-ear device, the Opus 2. WaterWear for Rondo, which is the device on the right, was launched the previous summer in 2015. So WaterWear is a fully waterproof cover that can be applied to the Rondo, Opus 2, and SONNET, and it gives our devices a waterproof rating of IP68, which means it's completely waterproof for fresh water, salt water, and chlorine. You can go swimming in these. It's really, really great option for water time. So while wearing WaterWear, zinc air batteries cannot be used. They require oxygen in order to work, and so instead, we recommend either a silver oxide battery, an alkaline battery. We have a battery called the Decapo rechargeable battery for the Opus 2, or you can just use our new rechargeable batteries for the SONNET. So our rechargeable batteries that we just talked about are a great option for using with the SONNET device, with WaterWear. So while we're using WaterWear, I've had a lot of questions about this. There is no degradation in sound quality, and no special program is required. So you put this on your ear, you don't have to change your program at all. It doesn't sound any different. It's still great sound quality, so it's very easy to use. And for people that order packs of WaterWear, it comes with 3 covers and 9 adhesives in each pack. And each cover can be used up to 3 times. So that gives a total of 9 uses per pack. The cost for WaterWear for the SONNET and Opus is $50 a pack. But what a lot of my parents do, especially if they have backup devices like the Opus or the Rondo, is they'll put the WaterWear on the Rondo and just leave it on until the battery dies. So they don't take it off and on, and that gives you way more uses out of the WaterWear packet. So that's just a trick that a lot of my families have used to really make it last for a lot longer. All right, so I'm going to move on to something else that's really exciting. We're going to go over the DL Coil. So this is the part of the device that attaches to the magnet on the head. It's that round circle thing. I'm sure that all of you already know that, but I thought I should point it out. So this new coil is really built for children, pediatrics. The DL Coil has 5 big changes over the previous metal coil design, which was called our D coil. The DL Coil features an LED link check light at the base of the coil. It's the green light in the picture, and that lets you check proper implant connection at a glance. So please note that these lights may be deactivated by the child's audiologist. So if you're a parent or a therapist and your child uses a metal device and you decide that you want to check out the light, if you see that they're not working, just double check first with the audiologist that they've even been activated. So audiologists, just as an aside, can deactivate these. But when they're working, the LED link check light is the easiest way to check if the SONNET is sending sound information to the implant. And it does this by lighting up in one of 2 colors. Green means everything is working right, and red means that it's not. So it's pretty easy. The green light will flash 3 times when you turn the processor on, and it won't blink again if everything is working fine. Because it's easily visible on the coil, parents can quickly look and know with certainty that their child is hearing with their device. The red light, however, will flash 1 time per second to indicate that there's a problem. Problems could mean that a cable is broken or the coil is disconnected from the implant, or for bilateral children, that the coil is on the wrong side of the head. After 5 minutes, the coil will totally shut off to save power, and then the red light will only blink once every 10 seconds instead of once every second until the battery dies. And if the coil has totally shut off, as indicated by the red light blinking every 10 seconds, then you have to turn the processor off and on to turn the coil back on again. So it really is a very simple way of checking that the device is connected and talking to the implant, or letting you know that you need to troubleshoot something. So in addition to the indicator lights, the DL Coil also has a more durable cable than our previous models. So I think you'll find that it's a strong cable. It holds up to toddlers pretty well. It also features a lockable cable connection, which I think is brilliant to prevent children from pulling cables out. I'm sure you guys have all had kids just take everything apart, and that can be frustrating. So it locks in place, and you can tell if the coil has the lockable cable connection because you'll see an imprinted image of a lock on the top of the coil right above the indicator light. So in this image, you can see it right above the green light. There's just a little lock, and that means that the cable will lock in place. So if it has that, don't pull to get the cable to disconnect, because it's actually locked and you could hurt something. You would have to take off the top of the coil in order to get the cable to come out. So the DL coil, in addition to that locking mechanism, also features exchangeable covers with a lot of colors to choose from, which is also great for kids. And additionally, MED-EL has teamed up with SYNCHRONY and offers customizable skins for the SYNCHRONY system, and this includes the DL coil, as you can see from our zebra example. And you can find a lot more information on how to get cute skins for your processor at www.medel.com/skins. So the last cool thing about the DL coil is that it features 9 adjustable magnet strengths, which is a lot for cochlear implants today. And that makes it easy for the child's audiologist to fine-tune the magnet for optimal wearing comfort. This helps the child find that sweet spot between a magnet that is too strong and too weak, so they can wear their device all day comfortably. So that's our DL coil, which I'm really excited about. I think it's a great pediatric option. All right, so I'm going to plow through. We're going to move on to another one of our updates, which is, this is my favorite. It's the MTD Adaptor. So this is our microphone test device, or MTD, and it's an adapter for the SONNET to make this device work for our new SONNET behind the ear. So this is an optimal troubleshooting tool to be used by people with normal hearing, like therapists, audiologists, and parents, to subjectively evaluate the microphone in the SONNET audio processor. So I'm going to start by giving you a little bit of history about why we released an adapter for our microphone test device. MED-EL has a microphone test device already for the Opus 2, which some of you therapists might have seen. The Opus 2 is the behind-the-ear speech processor that was out prior to the SONNET. So this MTD was not compatible with the SONNET. We couldn't use it with our SONNET device. And so we released this MTD adapter so that the Opus 2 microphone test device could be used to listen to the microphone on the SONNET. So it's really just a way of bridging the two. So if you're familiar with our other way of checking listening, the speech processor test device, this is totally different. Basically, the speech processor test device, that little gray paddle that you see that has the red light that flashes, that just ensures that sound is reaching the coil and that there aren't any hiccups along the way. But it doesn't tell you about the quality of the sound. This device allows you to listen to the quality of the microphone through both the speech processor and an FM boot. So I'm going to walk you guys through it so you can get a better idea of what this actually looks like. It looks complicated, but it's actually very simple. So you can follow along with the numbers. So number 1, you connect the SONNET MTD adapter, which is that long cable thing, to the microphone test device, which is that big gray rectangle in the middle. So you connect the two together at that number 1 point. And then number 2, you connect the headphones to the microphone test device. So that's what an adult would use to listen to evaluate the microphone. And then number 3, you remove the SONNET audio processor from the patient's head, and you place the SONNET coil, number 4, on the flat side of the MTD adapter. So that's where you see at number 4, that adapter connects to the child's coil. And then number 5, you press M on the fine tuner for a couple seconds to activate the monitoring mode. And then you turn the microphone test device on, number 6, and you speak into the microphone of the audio processor to listen to the microphone signal. And this will also work for an FM system. So I know it looks like a lot of moving parts, but it actually works really well, and it's very intuitive once you try it the first time. This is a great way of double-checking what your child is hearing. All right, so before I move on, I want to do a brief discussion about our rehab materials and our new web shop, but I can't move past anything without drawing attention to one of the things that makes metal devices amazing. And a lot of people already know about this, but I just have to touch on it. The NetL Synchrony cochlear implant has a revolutionary self-aligning magnet that rotates within an MRI machine, meaning there's no need to have it surgically removed or tightly bandaged before getting an MRI, because there's no torque on the magnet as the MRI machine passes over the body. This is because the magnet aligns with the machine. This means that there's only a tiny amount of time without access to sound, basically just when somebody's getting an MRI, and there's no discomfort, even during a high-strength 3.0 Tesla scan. So this magnet is entirely unique to NetL, and I think it really shows a commitment to our patients' quality of life after receiving our device. This is huge for the adult and pediatric population, as the majority of people will need an MRI at some point in their life. I know my mom just had an MRI of her elbow after playing tennis for so many years, and if she had had one of these devices, she wouldn't have to worry about it at all. She'd just be able to go straight through the MRI machine, and I can never get past that. I just think that that's amazing innovation. You can read more about MRI'S and the Synchrony implant at www.metal.com/us/cochlear-implants-MRI-safety. Yeah, I think that we can all expect to get an MRI at some point, and this definitely makes it painless. Okay, so I'm going to move on away from our technology updates and into our rehabilitation. I want to wrap things up with an introduction to our new web shop. If you've ever shopped with us before, it's likely that you've used our old order form and snail mailed it in like a catalog. So that's not very effective, and we have this new web shop. So now orders can be received quickly, and you can always be current on what resources we're offering. So our web shop's address is at the top. It's netl-bridge.com, and bridge is really the word that we use for all of our rehabilitation materials. So if you see something that says bridge, it's really meant for people who've already received devices and are learning how to live with them. NetL offers a variety of resources for parents and professionals. So if you go to netl-bridge.com, you can hover over products, and you can see our categories: pediatric, teen, adult. There's resources really for everybody. And today we are going to focus on pediatrics. So I'm going to highlight one resource for parents and one resource for professionals. For parents, I love the LittlEARS diary activities. As a speech-language pathologist who works with children in early intervention, I really believe that this tool is so powerful. This book features 28 weeks of activities that a parent of a young listener could do to help develop listening and spoken language skills using everyday routines and things that they can find around the house. The book is free, and it can be ordered through the web shop, and it can also be downloaded as a PDF. So it's very accessible. This is also a great resource for professionals for therapy ideas, or for parents and professionals to do together. So this is an example of one of the weeks of therapy ideas. It's week 27. So you start by marking down the date and who's participating in the activity. You can write down the hearing age of the child and any other pertinent notes. And then you're given a list of materials that you would need to complete the activity. The name of this activity that I have up is Bag of Groceries. So it requires items from around the kitchen. And I love how this uses everyday items and routines to build language. So under the activity portion, You've got therapy ideas and strategies that are presented to guide the parent or the therapist through the activity. You know, even years of working with kids with hearing loss, I still look through this and I'm like, oh my gosh, that's a great idea, or oh God, you know, I should try that. So it's got a lot of really good nuggets in there, and it's some good food for thought on ways to interact with your child through everyday living activities. So that's LittlEARS diary activities. I really encourage you guys to check that out. Let's see. So the next item that I want to highlight is for therapists, and this is the last thing that I'll talk about tonight. So this is called the Open and Close Set Task, and it's one of our new assessment tools that was developed by Dr. David Ertmer. So the Open and Close Set Task, or as we at Meadow like to call it, the ONC, is an objective and developmentally appropriate criterion reference tool for assessing a toddler's ability to imitate and to understand spoken words during the first 2 years of implant use. So it's really tailored to this population. The target population is for toddlers, children who are older and might receive an implant later, or children with additional disabilities in addition to hearing loss. And it's meant to be administered at 6-month intervals post-implant for 2 years out. So the kit contains a manual, a photo book, and score sheets with 3 word lists. You can see them right there. Each of the 3 lists contains 3 demonstration words and 10 stimulus words. The lists are balanced, and they can be presented in any order. So you could do list 2, and then list 1, and then 3. It really doesn't matter. And because it's only 10 stimulus words, it's super fast to give. I have a kid on my caseload now, and I gave him this test maybe like a couple of months ago. He's 2.5, and we just flew through it. It was super fast. It gave the dad a lot of good detailed information, and it was pretty painless, which is priceless. So yeah, it's super fast and easy to give. So here's how it works. So this is the open set task. The adult opens the stimulus book and says the word from the targeted word list, and then the child imitates it. So in this case, I would open up the little book, and it says boat, and so I look at the child and I say boat, and he says bow. And then I transcribe what he says on the score sheet, B-O. He said bow, not boat. So that is the open set task, where he's just asked to say what he hears or say it as well as he can say it. And then the closed set task. So after I have him repeat the word boat, I flip the page, and then the child is shown a set of 3 pictures and asked to identify what word they heard. So what it sounds like is I say, boat. He says, bow. I turn the page, and I say, show me. And he either points to the boat or the fire truck or the bike, and then he scored on that as well. So I know that everybody either has kids that are parrots, where they say everything, but they might not understand what they're saying, or kids that really understand a lot, but they don't have that many speech sounds. And so this test pulls that apart. Are they understanding? Are they imitating? Are they doing both? And I think in the pediatric population, it's a really great resource for kind of starting to pull that apart. All right, so each list has a score sheet. This is what one of the score sheets looks like. This is for list 3. The child receives 3 scores from the test. The first is phoneme accuracy. So it's kind of like a mini Goldman-Fristow test of articulation for any speech pathologists out there. That's a little bit of a higher level articulation test. So this is a lower level articulation test for kids in early intervention with new implants. So this provides a measure of the child's ability to imitate vowels and consonants in words. And it can also help provide a sound inventory. What can the child say? What sounds are missing? So the score is reported in the percent correct, and it's really nice because the score sheet gives the transcription of the word underneath the word, which helps if you're rusty on your phonetic alphabet. So if you look at the top, it says vote, but then phonetically it's V-O-T. So you don't have to try and remember how everything is transcribed. It's a quick cheat. All right, so the second score, which I think is pretty cool, is called a word acceptability score. And basically, this provides an estimate of the child's intelligibility of spoken words by comparing them to an adult standard. So I think a lot of times we say, yeah, like he's 60% intelligible, I think. I don't know, that's kind of how I judge him. And so this is more of a way of testing that and getting a number for intelligibility. And the score is the number correct out of the number administered. And they have to have, in order to get it correct, at least 2 matching phonemes, which is another way of kind of saying letter, kind of, and the correct number of syllables. So those are the 2 things that they must get, and it's either yes, no, either they have it or they don't. So you can see over time that their intelligibility hopefully gets better as they start producing words that sound closer to the adult word. So that's our word acceptability score, which I think is pretty novel. And then last we have word comprehension, and this measures how well early emerging spoken vocabulary words are understood. And the score is the total number of points. This is where I say boat and they point to fire truck. They don't, that's not right. Or I say boat and they point to boat. They get a 3. But there's also an option for repetition. So if I say boat and then they like kind of just touch the book somewhere random and I have to say it again, where's the boat? Then they get a 2. And so that's where they kind of require a repetition. So they lose a point for the repetition, but they're still given a little bit of credit. Yeah, so that was the open and close set task. So basically, just to conclude, MED-EL is continuing to improve our users' experiences and is dedicated to our pediatric population. Our rechargeable batteries for the SONNET are lightweight and they're great for tiny ears, and they're also eco-friendly and cost-effective. And WaterWear makes it possible for your little ones to hear during all waking hours, including tub time and at the beach and during swimming lessons. Our microphone test device adapter helps to make sure that your child has the highest quality of sound and that all of their equipment is working properly. It's a great way of checking what they're hearing. And if your child is ever in need of an MRI over the course of their life, you can rest easy knowing that they won't have to have their magnet surgically removed or tightly bandaged. In addition to our cutting-edge technology, we offer rehabilitation resources to help maximize kids' listening potential. We have sourced professionals from around the world to develop resources like online games and parent guides and therapy activities and assessment tools, and they're all available at medel-bridge.com. A lot of them are free downloads. They're games that you can play for free. I really encourage you to check it out and explore that rehab website. So thank you so much for taking time to listen to our new technology and resources that MED-EL has recently released. We are always innovating, and so I encourage you to check out our website often for updates. So I'm available if anybody has any questions or any comments now.
This is Deb. It was a really good presentation, very informative. I didn't know anything about this, so I'll share it with my local parents' Facebook page.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Any other questions for Landon? Okay. Well, thank you so much, Landon, for being on tonight and sharing more about MED-EL with us. This will be on our Illinois Sound Beginnings website, probably in the next month or so, if not sooner than that. And so parents and professionals can access it at a later date. So thank you so much for taking the time out of your evening to be with us.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
All right. Well, everyone have a lovely night and a wonderful Thanksgiving. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good night.
Good night.